Good morning, everybody. I am back in the shop, basically trying to get started on working today. I've kind of had a hard time getting momentum going this morning, but I think I'm finally there and ready. First things first is I have a bunch of Etsy orders that came in yesterday, and I need to get those shipped. Oh, so this is something I don't see very often. I sold an arch top. I have just a super limited number of these left. Here, I can show you. These were a Kickstarter, and I have just a small handful left. Now, all of these here are not quite in their finished state, except the coral, though the coral has gotten awfully patinaed since I first made it, because it's been a couple years now. So I need to finish all of these before I can ship them. So I sold this one. It's a snow finish, so I'm just gonna re-sandblast it, and then it needs the carbide bearing pushed in the end. Okay, so that is finished. Now I just need to press the bushing in, or the bearing in, which it is a light press fit, but also I do just a little bit of super glue to keep it set in there. I like super glue over Loctite for this application because super glue is clear, and if you miss just a little bit and get a little bit on the top, that'll be in there forever now. Our Kickstarter notifications sign up is going pretty well. We're at 56 followers right now. I don't remember the exact number, but I think we were around 30 or like 37, 40, somewhere in there for the parametric pry bar. And we haven't launched yet. So we're like 75% more than we were on the last Kickstarter, which is great. Assuming all the numbers scale right, that would put us on track for about 10 grand from this campaign, which I would be happy with. It's not my end goal of 20 grand per campaign, but it would be a pretty big increase and would keep me funded for a while. The only problem is that the carabiners and the pry bars don't really scale the same way. And because the pry bars, my average sale price was about 70 bucks, and on the carabiners, it's about 30 bucks. So even though I have like 75% more followers who are ready to buy, that won't necessarily translate to 75% more revenue. Speaking of revenue, let's go ahead and take a look at my sales numbers here. Now, this right here is our gross 30 income. That is what we're using to gauge our goal. Our goal is to get that to about 8,300 bucks within the next year. That is rolling gross 30 income. So it does not take into account expenses, just the amount of income. Now that is down a little bit right now at about 870 bucks. Though I should add that I do have about $600 in receivables right now that will come in Thursday. So that will go up, pretty significantly, getting us back to kind of where the everything averages, around $1,000, $1,200 bucks a month. Though I will add a large portion of this is from the Patreon income because I have not been investing time into Etsy, which is what used to be the primary source of my income. So my Patreons are really helping me focus on getting these Kickstarters done and being able to make YouTube videos for you instead of just chasing Etsy. Now that being said, I am still spending a lot more money than I'm making right now. And granted, a lot of that is investing in things like the Sticker of the Month Club and product photography, which those have not really paid themselves off yet. The Sticker of the Month Club has helped me get a few Patreons, which will over time add up. And then also, hopefully it'll sell me some carabiners when the Kickstarter launches. But I have a lot of money in this Kickstarter launch that hasn't happened. And I'm not gonna get paid from that Kickstarter until around early November or so. Now the problem is I have 2 machine payments before then. I have one at the end of September and then one at the end of October, which even with my current Patreon level, I still don't quite have enough money to cover that second payment. So I'm gonna need to make some money before then. Hopefully I'll find some more freelancing work to cover that gap. It's not that big of a gap at this point. And I might actually take some Xometry work, or at least do the Xometry test part, because they pay you 500 bucks for that Xometry test part, and they provide you with the material. So I just need to buy tooling, and that's mostly profit, which should cover that next machine payment. But then after that, the Kickstarter money will come in, and I have some debt on PayPal. I use their interest-free financing for a lot of my R&D costs to, so I still have cash for things like machine payments. And I don't have too much in there, but I can pay all of that off pretty easily with what I should get from the Kickstarter. Then I'll have several months worth of cash where I can use that to develop the next Kickstarter. I'm aiming for a December launch of the next campaign, which I don't know, maybe overly optimistic because I haven't even started it. I don't even have a design for the next carabiner yet. But I've learned a lot on this one, so it'll hopefully be possible. So my Kickstarter is getting pretty close to looking good. Like, I'm sure there's still a few tweaks I can do, but like it's 99% of the way there. But I want to make some more videos and GIFs that I can use in the campaign itself and just generally post it on social media and or advertising. I'm about to record a video, an ad that I can use for my Kickstarter that is actually based off of a video that Casey Neistat did for Nike. Or at very least, it's based off of one shot that he did in that video for Nike. The video is called Make It Count. It is a classic YouTube video. It's fantastic. And I'll put a link down in the description. But like the payoff of that video is there is one shot. We're like, okay, so the premise of this video is that he traveled the world and basically did a bunch of running and all over the world. And they have this one payoff shot at the end where he is like running across the screen, but they cut to all of the different places where he has been, running. And so he's like running in front of the pyramids in Egypt and like in front of the Eiffel Tower in Paris and, all these other cool places. And they cut it together into this one thing. So it looks like he's seamlessly running across the screen, but it's cutting to all the different backgrounds. And it's fantastic looking. My goal is to do that with my carabiners, except I don't have a $20,000 budget to fly around the world. So I'm gonna cheat. This is a green piece of paper, which will hopefully act as a green screen. I'm gonna get a video of me just like opening and closing a carabiner on this green screen and then key out the screen and replace it with stock footage from a bunch of different countries. I'm not 100% sure that I can pull this off, but if I can, it'll be really cool. So I don't know how well this is gonna work, but I'll take you through the process of making the video. First thing I did was record the video that you just saw. And then I put it in Adobe Premiere and I just kind of cropped it to what I think is a good usable portion. Now notice I did end up going outside to record this video, and that is because when I put in the backgrounds are all gonna be places outside. So I want my lighting to match those, at least kind of, sort of. This will look wrong. There's gonna be some uncanny valley in it, and like I've just accepted that. I'm not good enough to get rid of that. And according to the guys at Corridor Crew, which I've watched for a while, if you're gonna do a green screen scene that's gonna be outside, record the green screen outside because you cannot match the sun inside. So that's what I did. The next step is to take this and do some image stabilization on it. And this is what it looks like stabilized. Now I can key out the background. I made the frame square because this will be for social media. And I also wanted to give some more headroom above the carabiner for the images that we're about to put in. I keyed out the background, which just means I removed the green screen and replaced it with transparent, which will show up as black in this video you're about to see. And I have to say, just the default settings on this key were spot on. This is what it looks like with all of the background images put in, though I tried to blur them to kind of make it look more like a bokeh from the camera, but I overdid it in this picture, so they're way too blurred. So this time, to fix that, I walked the blur way back. I added a layer of noise over everything to kind of tie it together, and then I color corrected my hand to help it match the background. Now, it's not perfect, and a lot of these, the lighting is just plain wrong, and some of them have pretty heavy color grading on them, some of the background images, and so I tried to replicate that as best as I could, but I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm not particularly good at this. Also, I realized a mistake that I made right at the beginning. I put this over stagnant images. And sometimes it's just like a landscape where that's fine, but a lot of the time there's people in cars in the background, which your eye immediately picks up that like, oh, this is video over image. And I'm not really sure how to fix that other than redoing it all with stock video instead of stock photos. So I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna send this off to the Discord and let my Patreons give me some feedback on it. So after watching that one, I didn't like it. It was not working. It looks unnatural and awkward, and no matter what I did, I couldn't fix it. So I tried making it more of a stop motion, thinking that that would kind of help blend things together. And I suppose it's better, but it's a little flashy, and I don't know. I'm not a fan. So I think at this point I just have to write it off. I could probably do better if I did the whole thing again, but it's just a loss for now. And that's how these things go sometime. After abandoning that video and eating dinner, I moved on to doing some product photography of the brand new wristlet, which will be in the prototype of the month club, by the way, and the new lanyard with the updated materials. Both of these, huge improvement over what they were before. There's definitely some more work that needs to be done, like the lanyard's too long and the wristlet's too short, but we can find a happy medium. I really like where both of these are going, especially the wristlet. I can see that being, or excuse me, the key sling. I can see those being rather handy. And the new material on the lanyard, it's actually, the intended purpose of it is to be underwear lining, like underwear elastic. So it's very soft on the neck, and it has a good amount of spring without being too springy. The wristlet is a little bit more of like elastic that you would see on like a backpack, and it feels pretty tough. It's a little bit more like coarse to the skin, but it's not gonna be on the back of your neck, so that's fine. Anyway, at this point, the Kickstarter is 99.9% done. The only thing I have left on the actual campaign itself is I have a timeline that's actually an image that Scott at Critical Creative Designs did for me, and I originally had him doing it with the launch being on September 1st. Obviously that has been pushed back to September 7th, and so I just need a new timeline. And he's working on that. I'll have that in a couple minutes. And I mean, the campaign will be ready to publish. After that, it's just sorting out more Facebook posts and Instagram posts and, you know, figuring out advertising and all that other stuff. So we're really, really close here, guys. This video will come out on Tuesday. The campaign goes live sometime between noon and 5 on Wednesday. So we're really close. If you want to sign up for notifications to get a chance at the early bird slots, you can find the link down in the description or betterkeychains.com. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you at the Kickstarter.